Hello everybody. So I'm not gonna force myself to strictly have all of the categories in a different same way that I did in the previous video. I feel like I should not try to highlight if I have nothing to especially highlight, which will be very evident, and I will elaborate that in the first section. For now, I'm gonna say that I'm also gonna leave the gameplay just in case somebody wants to. Now, I did not record the audio for that because I like to listen to videos and stuff like that on the background. So you don't want to. If you don't want to watch that, you don't need to. But I'm gonna leave it there just in case somebody wants to see the conclusion to that run. So now let's get on the topics. So first of all, I would like to highlight that this is going to be hopefully a lot shorter video than the previous one. I have read and watched a lot of things in February, but unfortunately they were quite poor quality, so I don't want to highlight them. I generally would prefer not to highlight negativity, and so I won't be highlighting those. So another thing that took a lot of time is that school project. I had a project going on, and that, well, let's just say that school is a school. So yeah, no, I don't need to explain any further. It's just school. It takes a lot of time. This is also one more thing that took a lot, actually two more things. I'm starting a new campaign on, for my friends. I'm running Pathfinder 2, which is actually not that much learning, but it is still something that takes quite a considerable amount of time and effort. More so just it just takes a lot of time, not it isn't a creativity problem or something like that. Actually, it's more of a sleep problem, because if I get writing, I really do start writing a lot. But it's really amusing. I really do enjoy it, creating more stuff, just writing stuff. It's creative process is always something that I really enjoy, and yeah, it just ends up eating a lot of my time. And the one more thing that is also gonna be taking an exorbitant amount of time. I'm also starting to run a new club in real life, which is like a revolving star, once again role-playing system thing. That is still not finished. That takes far longer, and I have to do a lot of work for that, so I will probably, hopefully, get it done on March, but you will hear. That's the thing. You will probably hear about that. So unfortunately, a lot of things have eaten my time, not the least of which was the video I released at the end of February, which was the concert. I held a concert in real life, and that took a lot more time and energy, and it kinda put me out of commission for the rest of that week, which is unfortunate, but I'm still trying to get used to public performances and stuff like that, and it's been a while, so it sings, but naturally performing takes a lot of energy out of you. But it's fun. I enjoyed it, and I think it's not the best performance I could have given. No, not by a long shot. It was very bothersome to go back and just check that there are no audio peaks, or where they were, but just watching that video back, I'm not really that satisfied with it, but it happened. I don't need to delete it. I'm just gonna keep it. I kinda enjoy how I left that video in an unedited state, just I put some minor noise removal in it and just some audio, very little audio balancing, to be honest. And I'm gonna be happy with that. At least people can enjoy that and watch that and listen to it. It's something kind of new. Not new, but something different. So yeah, that's it for my real life section. This is once again going to be a quite a bit shorter section. But one manga that I read during this February was something that I really do enjoy. The adventurers don't believe in humanity will save the world. The adventurers that don't believe in humanity will save the world. It's there's I didn't put punctuation in my notes, but yeah, it's a fun little manga. It's kind of short at the moment, still like being released. I actually was like found it by just watching YouTube videos, and I came across the clip, which is from the anime of that is produced from that. Like, so, anyway, anime produced on that manga, and that was really entertaining, and I wanted to read it. Yeah, it caught my eye. I liked it. It was really good. I wanna see how it continues. It's a simple story about like, let's just say mistrustful people falling on hard times and being kinda unlucky. Now it has a lot of interesting tropes to it, like, and it plays around with general storytelling tropes that manga just like usually does, and it's pretty fun. Now it does kinda play on the same theme that I kinda enjoy in Blue Lock, for example, where you don't necessarily need to be a good person, and you don't need to be a paragon of virtues or anything like that, but you can just like, it's alright for people to have vices, and you don't deserve to be judged for what you enjoy and what entertainment you like. And that is something that I really do like in the manga, so that is very heavily highlighted. So that is also something that I've been like talking quite a bit recently with a lot of my associates, is the fact that it is okay to enjoy. It's okay to have vices. It's okay to enjoy stupid stuff. It's okay to like actually enjoy bad media, for example. So that's why I really did gravitate towards this manga. It's really something. Usually, actually, it's just mostly to use this as a speaking point for this. It's okay to like stupid stuff. It's okay to like camp. It's okay to enjoy poor quality media. If it's something you like, nobody can take that away from you. Now, of course, it is also still fine to criticize it and point out the flaws. Like, I'm a huge Dark Souls fan, but that game series is by no means perfect. Every game has had its flaws, and yeah, but you just have to deal with it. It's okay to enjoy less than stellar media or stuff. Anything. Enjoy what you want. Acknowledge the flaws and still enjoy it. So yeah. Okay, sorry, that went on a bit of a ramble. Yeah, that's it for this. Next up, I would like to talk about games, and I first want to highlight a game that I have enjoyed with my friend once again immensely, and that is Your Only Move is Hustle. Oh boy, what do I say about the game? It's the easiest way to compare it is that it's a fighting game in a very structural chess-like strategical sense. It is a game where you can input your moves like very in a quick succession. It's not about per se. It's not about like execution as per most fighting games, but it is all about strategy, timing, and spatial management and like tactics. And it's all about like little tactics especially. It is very fun game. I hope I can like insert here a clip of that, because the fights like take milliseconds, of course, when you like animate it completely. But it can cause some very amazing choreographies, and the fact that you can see your own inputs happen in real time after both of you, like when eventually either one of you loses, maybe, hopefully. So it's such a cool choreography to see, and it does play out like how you imagined it to play out, but it's also like nail-creepingly difficult and hard and tactical. It's just like intellectually very stimulating. I really enjoy it. It is when pro fighting game players express their game as a, how to say it, often fighting games are compared to chess in a way that you go through a lot of mental arithmetic about how you should fight, except you start doing it more instinctively and stuff like that. But Yomi Hustle is like actually very close to like chess, except in a, you know, like in a comparison way. So it's really one of the games that was like a highlight for me this February. It is so much fun. It takes like a surprisingly long amount of time. Like matches can, when you are programming the moves with your friend, because you do them like one move at a time, but you can like literally just like wait a millisecond or two so you can see what your opponent has done, and because you can like catch them off guard when they are doing stuff, and there's like input frames, like technical information about fighting game mechanics does give you an advantage. Like how does block stun work, hit stun work, how do Roman cancels, instant cancels, super cancels, how can you cancel those into combos and stuff like that, and how can you juggle people. Like a lot of that information is something that will give you an advantage, but it is not necessary to enjoy and succeed in the game, and I love it. It is very enjoyable. But it does take sometimes a fairly long time. However, there's the fortunate thing that if you know what you're doing, it doesn't honestly take that long. But it can take a long time, especially when you're just starting out, because you can kind of have to scan every potential possibility instead of just like starting to know what moves you can actually do and what your opponent can do and how those interact with one another. But yeah, Yomi Hustle, really good, really enjoyable, fantastic experience. Second, I would like to give a quick mention to Milk Inside a Bag of Milk Inside a Bag of Milk. It's a really silly title, but it also is a very, shall we say, surreal, cerebral, interesting experience. It's really hard to describe. It's a very short game, takes like, I think 25 minutes to complete, because it is really just a prelude to the second game, which is Milk Outside a Bag of Milk Outside a Bag of Milk. And I really do find both of these games, I haven't yet finished Milk in Outside a Bag of Milk Outside a Bag of Milk. I have not yet finished that game, but I have finished, well, it's 20 minutes, so yeah. Milk Inside a Bag of Milk Inside a Bag of Milk. Yeah, that game. And I really do recommend it to everybody who wants to have a kind of surreal, short, visual novel horror game experience. It's very cheap, it's very entertaining, it's very, very unique. It's like, I don't want to spoil anything because it is just out of this world, but it is one of the most unique experiences. And like, horror isn't a good explanation for it because it is more genre breaking than anything else. So yeah, and the sequel, while taking away a lot of the absurdity and surreal nature, is actually like the beginning. It gets really into what I have played of it, it gets really, really heavy into like psychological horror. Well, not just psychological, like actual horror, just like flat out horror. But it's done with a very beautiful budget, so it's like very kind of lower budget, so it's not high fidelity, but it looks fantastic. The art style and direction and everything is just fantastic in both of the games. The first game, of course, is very minimalistic, but I find it alluring in its simplicity. The fact that it's very big pixels and still rather simplistic pictures, just in general, in the composition and stuff like that, and especially the color palette. It very, very well describes the experience of having social anxiety and panic attacks out in public, and how anxiety-inducing going outside can be for introverted and depressed people and stuff like that. And in at least some way. Now, of course, some people might not relate to that, because we are not all the same. But it is a thrilling, interesting look into it nonetheless. And the way that it is expressed in such a visually unique style makes it really hard for me to not say that it's beautiful. However, it isn't like traditionally beautiful. So, and it does border on just being like stupid for some people potentially, but I really enjoyed it. It's fantastic. So yeah, milk inside a bag of milk inside a bag of milk. Very good. Milk outside a bag of milk outside a bag of milk. Have not yet played completely, so I will not say more than that I have really enjoyed it so far. Yeah, good game, good games. And now the final game that I want to highlight, which took a lot of my February free time. Well, not actually too much, because I played it in very short bursts, is the game called Hi-Fi Rush. Now, a lot of people have already heard of it, and I have been talking about it with my friends a lot. It's a rhythm action platformer rhythm game, like exploration. Like the closest comparison that comes to my mind is something like Hi-Fi, Jet Set Rush, Jet Set Radio, maybe Ratchet and Clank in a way, that it is action platformer. But Beautiful Joe actually is also really good, like kind of a stylistic comparison. It is just really, really good. I have really enjoyed that. I played through the game already. Now this is something that I cannot actually, or rather I would prefer not to insert any clips, because those are gonna be spoilers, and while the story is not the highlight of the game, some people still would like to prefer not to get spoiled, and thus I will not spoil it. I have really enjoyed the whole story, even though it is rather predictable. But, like I have already said in numerous occasions, predictability isn't necessarily a bad thing if the execution is fantastic. Now, one thing that I will be criticizing Hi-Fi Rush for is how campy it is, but in a loving way. It is a very deliberate stylistic choice that the main character of the game is a really huge dork. But they committed so hard to the bit that he is actually going really heavily into the lovable goof style of dork that I really do enjoy. However, I don't think everybody can enjoy that, so a bit of a forewarning on that. This is one of the games where I really would suggest people to check out some cutscenes online to find out if they like the humor, because if you don't like the humor, it's gonna detract from the game a lot. Now, the gameplay itself is actually something very unique, let's say. It is a action fighter game that you would really does showcase its true colors really quickly, in that it's an action fighting game, action combat game, but it has a very heavy rhythm component to it. And this is not only just like in the combat sections, but it flows into the combat sections from your normal platforming. In your normal platforming, you can still like move to the beat of the music, because everything works to the beat of the music, and that is a very strong, very fantastic, a beautiful, amazing component of the game that I really would... That's the selling point. Everything is on beat. Cutscenes are on beat, movement is on beat, and this transports directly into the combat, where every movement that you do is cued on beat. If you hit the command on beat, like exactly on beat, you get a better rating and a better effect, and you can more easily chain them into the attacks themselves. It's very, very fun. The combat is like really enjoyable, and it can get really difficult and really hectic. Now, I do not know for a lot of other people who have not practiced music. Fortunately, I can kind of relate, because I don't have like innate talent for music. So I'm not good with rhythm, even though I play rhythm games and stuff like that. It's still very difficult for me, but the game is like built around that it can be very difficult, but it's not like punishingly. Like if you lose a combat, if you die in a combat, you just start almost immediately from where you died. Like you just have to play the combat again, and that's really good. That is very fantastic. Even with the bosses, they give a lot of leniency. That like there's a lot of checkpoints in between the boss stages, or boss phases rather. So it's very well produced, with those who are not new to rhythm games in mind. And there's also a lot of really good accessibility options. For example, you can put like visualize the rhythm with a beat thing on the bottom that shows you the exact timing far more easily, and you don't have to, well, feel the beat. So that is really good. It's very fantastic. I really do enjoy that aspect, that it's very lenient, it gives a lot of like leeways, it is forgiving, it's very entertaining, and it still can be very difficult in certain sections of the game. I do have some more complaints about the game, but I will not go into those because they are going into spoiler territory. So yeah, it's a thing. Now, there's also a lot of free play value to the game, which is very apparent early on, and I won't like give any spoilers once again on that front, but let's just say, even though I have played like I think 34 hours or something, I think I can still like squeeze maybe 30 to 60 hours more, depending on how quickly I can like catch up to the beat. And there's a lot to do, and a lot to collect, so it's really fun. Also, I really do like every single character. There's so much. Okay, no, I'm gonna avoid spoilers. Like, I'm just gonna avoid all spoilers for the game. But I have enjoyed everything about the game. There is some aspects of the combat which can get too difficult for my liking, but they are based on the rhythm, and I'm really bad at picking up rhythm, so that's more of a failing on my part. Yeah. Also, the soundtracks, of course, it's a rhythm game, so the soundtrack has to be amazing, and it is. And they did a really nice thing on the, shall we say, streamer or producer end on things, that you can get like copyright like you can exchange some songs so that they don't play copyright infringing songs, or rather things that would get picked up or stuff like that. So you can actually like very safely stream or record, or just like play the game on stream, or just do let's plays or stuff like that. It's really fantastic in that aspect. Now, they did warn that there might still get some copyright claims, but they are doing their best, and it's fantastic. I really do enjoy a lot of the game. Like, there's very little for me to complain. I did experience one kind of game-breaking bug, but that like took me back like, I don't know, 5 seconds. But I mean, it delayed me a lot more, but I didn't lose almost any progress, so it's completely fine. There's very little to complain about the game. But I still would suggest take a look at the cutscenes, find out what the humor is, and if the humor is fitting for you. It does showcase the humor very quickly, and it won't be changing, so yeah. And also, if you want a game with a lot of, shall we say, plot twists, then well, you're looking at the wrong place. That's not the point of the game. The point of the game is to enjoy the beat, enjoy the combat, have fun, enjoy the banter, enjoy the bickering, and just like enjoy the camp. It's something that really did speak to me personally, because it had, the main character is a very much the stereotypical rocker kid, and while that is not exactly how I would describe myself, I can so easily relate to that. So yeah, Hi-Fi Rush. So, oh wow, this was a long section. But yeah, Hi-Fi Rush, fantastic. Really enjoyed, highly recommended. If you like rhythm games, it's not just a rhythm game, so be wary of that. But just in general, I really did enjoy my time with the game. So we come to the art section. Once again, I have contacted one of my associates, or rather my friend. I asked my friend to recommend a friend, and we got art from them. Now, of course, naturally as per usual, all of the links that they wish will be provided in the description, as well as I think I'll highlight them here as well in the editing process. So, yes. Now the first piece of art that we will be showcasing will be from, I think this is from Genshin Impact. I'm like fairly certain of that. I frankly did not play that much of it. Like, I stopped playing because it was taking too much of my time here. So the character is from, I think the name is Venti or Barbatos. I don't know the actual name. I'm sorry about that. But this will be a fantastic piece of art that I want to showcase here. Now the reason why I chose this in particular is because I just like, okay, there's a lot of personal bias of course here, because I really do like their character design. Like they just like looks fabulous. Like in, oh well, that's a bit of a weird word to use, but I just absolutely love the character design. Now I think that's the like mirroring the actual character design from later on in the game, but yes, just in general, the composition here is something that I am very, very much. I really do enjoy the composition. Let's just say it like that. Particularly the way that the artist chose to use the, well, not negative space, but the like fill up the space in the picture with the, well, perfect positioning like the character and just like the background not looking empty per se, but rather using it, filling it with something at least, and making it more appealing and also popping out very nicely. Also, I just really like the bright colors. It looked very bright, and I just think that the choice of colors plays very well here. Even my colorblind eyes can see that. So yes, of course, I'm just like huge fan of generally the character, so because of my personal preferences, but that does not diminish the quality of this art. Also, just like this is very much just bias, but I really do like their clothing, so yeah, let's chalk it up to I really do enjoy it. So yeah. Now the second piece of art I would like to highlight here will be a character that I don't know if I should show their name, so I will refrain from that, and I actually do want to crop this because of just in case. But yes, I very much enjoy this character design quite a bit because, well, it's the Year of the Rabbit, and even though this is more of a hare than a rabbit, but you know, the same genus, so I really do enjoy like the general aesthetic of all the art that has come out of this year from the, well, people saw it as a Year of Rabbit, and yeah, that inspired a lot of. Now I don't know where this was actually done, but it does fit the year quite well. Now more specifically here, I really do like, because if I'm not mistaken, this character is meant for a role-playing game, I think, for one of them. So just in general, I think it fits very well the aesthetics of role-playing games, because it's very evocative. It has a lot of eye-catching pieces to it, especially in the clothing with the, well, crackling energy sort of patterns in the clothing. That is something that really grabs the eye very, very well, and I really do enjoy that part of it. Also, just in general, once again, the color scheming is something that it is very lovely how it is all like the general color selection here. I like the vocabulary for this once again. The color selection here complements it, like the character design. Like generally hares are they are associated with nature, so the color palette really highlights that very well. Also from the datasheet you can see that I can see the character is supposed to be like a ranger, and that is also something that fits it quite well. This rather, well, not per se muted, but more earth-toned, rather warm colors, and more, well, that would fit that kind of characterization, like more, okay, I might mess up these colors, but like brown, and I think that's more brown. I don't know, I'm really bad with colors, so, you know, Also, just in general, I do very much enjoy the character's face, which is a bit of an odd thing for me to say, but I just like generally do like their expression, and also I really do enjoy characters whose like tips of their hair like change their color. It's just like, I don't know, it just catches my eye in particular very, very well. Now there's a lot of small accessories in the clothing choices here that I very much do enjoy, like for example the pauldron on the left shoulder and the like general stylization over there, and the shall we say little keychain of a rabbit over there as well, and that is something that I very much enjoy there. Of course the little hair follicle always on the top of the head, which I don't know, but I can't remember the name for that, so I'm not gonna say it, but like something that's really reminiscent from a lot of animes. It's something I really do just like enjoy it. It feels like it gives a lot of personality to a lot of characters. Of course, something that I do also very much like is here that the character has wambraces, or like braces on the leg parts, which is something that is, or at least was, supposed to be very common in medieval times. And it's just something that I feel like very well suits more like characteristics of a ranger. So yeah, just in general, I do really like a lot of the little detail choices that have went into the character, like just in general, and it just fit the year quite well. So yeah, it is very pleasing, and it has a fantastic color choices and a lot of lovely little details. The character has a very nice expression, and it communicates the character absolutely fantastically. Now, the third piece of art that I would like to showcase here will be this lovely composition of I don't know what to classify their race as. I believe that could be like a tiefling. I should have asked them, but I did, whatever. It is something that I really do enjoy. Now, this is quite a huge change from the previous picture in the way of the color scheming and the general aesthetics just in general, whereas the previous one was very much earth-toned and well, not muted, but like warm in colors. This composition still does keep a lot of the like warmth just in general, but it is, of course, with very different color choices. It does have a lot of, well, of course, space and colder colors and stuff like that, but I don't know, it just still does radiate a lot more of the warmth. I think it mostly has to do with the character's composition in this picture, or their positioning, and their posing just in general, and their expression. It could be a furbolg, now that I think about it. I don't know. Still, I'm just like, I really do like the eye-catching background in this particular picture, but also something that I'm stumbling over because I'm just like picking up a lot of details here in mid-sentence. Because the clothing, once again, I'm a real sucker for clothing that I just like am envious of. That clothing looks really fun. I would love to wear that once again. So it's something that I really do like as well. Now, of course, the color choices are also very, very nice. The contrast between the like yellow and blue is, of course, a very fantastic choice, and they are chosen rather fantastically here in the way that they don't really like clash negatively against one another, but they do contrast in a fantastic way. Of course, the little complementary colors for like black and white, with the yellow, like white contrasting with the background, and black just like highlighting certain aspects of the character's choices. Of course, usually you use black for a lot of parts, but just in general, they are fantastic here. Now, of course, the fact that the character is highlighted from the background is something that makes it pop out very fantastically. But I think it's also the fact that there's a lot of, shall we say, small sparkles in the characters, especially their hair, but like everywhere else. it just makes it, I don't know, it radiates really fantastically in this composition. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot, so I need to like check how to properly, like, I need to learn more vocabulary for this situation, but yes. Also, just in general, the fact that it's more a, shall we say, astral theming here, the fact that the background is more like a space, and a lot of the, well, of course there are the huge yellow stars in the foreground, but the fact that even their clothing, the character's clothing has little stars and the moon in there, is something that like has a very little nice of a touch of a detail into the character design here. And also the fact that the character's eyes are like a void, but they have a very soft, like kind of a welcoming expression. I don't know. It's more to do with, of course, the downward facing ears, which do have a more of a welcoming or a non-hostile presence to them. But of course the expression just like is generally very well fitted for this kind of composition. So yes, it is a very lovely contrast to the previous picture, in itself it is also very fantastic. Once again, the clothing is something that I would I don't know, I love clothes, so yeah. So we come to the final picture that I wanted to highlight. I won't go too much into detail about this. It won't be on the screen for too long. It is a lovely little Easter egg here. So, I'm not gonna go too long into detail. Let's just not be horny on main, shall we say. But I think for those who know my preferences, they can know why this is something I wanted to highlight. But I'll just let it simmer here for a bit, and we shall move on to the outro then. But I don't need to elaborate. I just really like this picture. Oh my. So, with all of that concluded, I would like to thank you all for listening, and I hope you enjoyed. Now I do apologize that there was a lot less content, or lot fewer topics that I wanted to cover, because the month was just like not good for that. I hope that I am not lazying the editing, and I can actually like highlight specific parts that I have enjoyed in certain aspects. That's going to be a lot of editing work, but it will be worth it, and I also can just like try to structure my words a bit differently. Now I hope that I kind of am moving these recaps into the direction of more details and less rambling, but as we all know, I tend to get wordy, so this has already gone on far longer than I expected it to go, but that is just how I roll, I guess. Now, of course, the special thanks goes to the artists who allowed me to use their or showcase their artwork, so thanks to them. I do believe you might be listening, so thank you. But yeah, I'll try to work on this format a lot more, and I have a lot more plans, and school will be kind of giving me a break in a bit, so that is fantastic. All in all, thank you all very much. I will leave the ending of this, just so in case somebody wants to see the whole gameplay to the end. I don't know if you want to, it's a long while, but it is there if you want. I don't know what I'm gonna do about the audio. I guess you'll just have to watch, listen, do stuff. I don't know. Anyways, thank you, and have a great day, and stay awesome. Kan mä